We are live now. Let's wait for 1 minute because it's 6:59. We'll start at exactly 7 o'clock. Hello friends, myself CA Sangam Agrawal, and I welcome to all the viewers and all the participants. I express my sincere thanks to CA Avinash Podarji from Gujarat, CA Rajendra Arora ji from Delhi, CA Divya Bansal ji from Delhi, and CA Tarun Arora ji from Delhi. So friends, thank you very much for joining today. Firstly, friends, I wish a very happy CA Day, Doctor Day, and a GST Day. Is a life of a CA is incomplete without GST. I think this is a very valid statement nowadays because कहीं ना कहीं GST ने सबका खून पी रखा है किसी तरह से, चाहे वो GST लॉ की बात करें हम या GST पोर्टल की बात करें. अभी जस्ट रिसेंटली 5 मिनट पहले ही मैं फेसबुक पे देख रहा था, एक ट्विटर पे एक ट्वीट था कि सर जून की रिटर्न नहीं आ रही, जुलाई की रिटर्न आ रही है. 3B फाइल करने का ऑप्शन, जून का ऑप्शन नहीं आ रहा, जुलाई का ऑप्शन आ रहा है. तो समहाउ जीएसटी कहीं ना कहीं सीए की लाइफ से इतना ज्यादा इंटीग्रेटेड है कि आज हमें सेशन करना पड़ रहा है. और फ्रेंड्स, हम चाहेंगे हम इस सेशन के थ्रू अपने सुझाव और सजेशन को गवर्नमेंट तक पहुंचाएं. और एक ड्रीम जो हम सारे प्रोफेशनल का एक ड्रीम है परफेक्ट जीएसटी का, कि कैसे फ्यूचर में एक परफेक्ट जीएसटी हम सबके सामने हो सकता है. और फ्रेंड्स, मेरा मानना है कि जो परफेक्ट जीएसटी हो सकता है वो हम सबके ही कंट्रीब्यूशन से हो सकता है. अगर हम सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट से उम्मीद करें कि गवर्नमेंट एक ऐसा कॉमन लॉ बना दे जो अपने आप में परफेक्ट हो, मुझे लगता है वो प्रैक्टिकली पॉसिबल नहीं है. कहीं ना कहीं हम सब प्रोफेशनल को मिलके गवर्नमेंट को सपोर्ट करना होगा, गवर्नमेंट को सर्च करना होगा कि क्या क्या लूप होल्स हैं, कैसे हम इस जीएसटी लॉ को एक वन नेशन वन टैक्स वन मार्केट में एक्चुअली कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं. बिकॉज अपने आप में जीएसटी लॉ एक बहुत बड़ा लॉ है और उसको स्मूथ चलाने के लिए हम प्रोफेशनल का बहुत बड़ा रोल है. तो फ्रेंड, आज के दिन मैंने आज का दिन इसलिए चुना बिकॉज आज सीए डे भी है और जीएसटी डे भी है. तो दोनों के कॉम्बिनेशन से आज की सेशन में हम आने वाले नेक्स्ट 1 से 1.5 घंटे में ये डिस्कस करेंगे कि हम गवर्नमेंट को क्या क्या सुझाव दें, क्या क्या सजेशन दें, जिससे कि हम आने वाले जीएसटी को एक परफेक्ट जीएसटी लॉ कह सके, चाहे लॉ के एंगल से और पोर्टल के एंगल से. तो फ्रेंड्स, मैं आप लोगों को ज्यादा समय नहीं लूंगा. आप लोगों से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि आपके जो भी क्वेश्चन होगा आप कमेंट सेक्शन में उन क्वेश्चंस को लिख सकते हैं. लास्ट में हम उन सब क्वेश्चंस को लेंगे. मैं फ्रेंड आपको थोड़ा बताना चाहूंगा कि आज के सेशन कैसे होगा. सीए अविनाश पोद्दार जी जो हम सब में सबसे सीनियर हैं, वो इस सेशन के मॉडरेटर हैं, एक तरह से चेयरमैन है, एक तरह से वो सारे सजेशन को एक तरह से बैठ करेंगे, उनकी लीगल ऑथेंटिसिटी को बताएंगे कि क्या उसमें कोई लीगल हर्डल है उस सजेशन के अंदर. और फ्रेंड, मैं कोशिश करूंगा कि आज के डिस्कशन को कहीं ना कहीं ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट पेपर की फॉर्म में लाके उसको हम गवर्नमेंट तक भी पहुंचाएं. सिर्फ एक वीडियो बना के ना रह जाएं, हम इससे एक लाइव सेशन ना करके रहें, उसको कहीं ना कहीं ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट फॉर्म में तैयार करें और सबके सजेशन लेके उनको कहीं ना कहीं गवर्नमेंट तक पहुंचाएं, जिससे कि एक्चुअली उनको हम प्रैक्टिकली इंप्लीमेंट कर सकें. तो अविनाश सर क्या करेंगे, इसकी सारे सजेशन को बैठ करेंगे. कहीं उनको लगता है कि किसी पॉइंट में कोई लीगल हर्डल है, बिकॉज सर एडवोकेट भी हैं और ही नोज लीगल बैकग्राउंड ऑफ द लॉ आल्सो. जनरली सर हाई कोर्ट में, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में लॉ की लीगल इंटरप्रिटेशन पे डिस्कस करते हैं चीजों को. तो मैं सर रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि जो भी हमारे पैनलिस्ट सजेशन देंगे तो थोड़ा उसमें अपना इनपुट ऐड करेंगे सेशन के अंदर, और कोई भी अगर लीगल हर्डल है तो उसको भी डिस्कस करेंगे हम. तो सबसे पहले हम शुरू करेंगे राजेंद्र अरोड़ा जी से, उसके बाद दिव्या जी से, और उसके बाद करेंगे हम तरुण जी से. उसके बाद लास्ट में सेशन को कंक्लूड करेंगे अविनाश जी. और जो भी सेशन में इंप्रूवमेंट करना होगा वो 1 to 1 होता रहेगा. फॉर एग्जांपल, जैसे राजेंद्र जी ने पहले अपने सेशन दे, उसमें कोई भी अगर लीगल हर्डल इन्वॉल्व है देन अविनाश जी उसको डिस्कस करेंगे लेटर ऑन इन सीक्वेंस वे. So I
think Sangam, we should have Avinash bhai's opening remarks also to begin with the program.
Yeah, we will do, sir. So I think if I go to the profile of all the speakers, it will take too much time because all have a very learned and very renowned speaker. सो फ्रेंड्स, मैं एक छोटी छोटी सी बात जो मैंने पर्सनली फील करी चारों स्पीकर के बारे में वो बता के अपने सेशन को स्टार्ट करूंगा। अविनाश पोद्दार जी बहुत ही सिंपल सिटी में रहने वाले इंसान लगते हैं मुझको, जितना मैंने उनके बारे में पढ़ा है, यूट्यूब पे देखा है, और इनकी लाइफ बहुत ही डिफरेंट है। इन्होंने मोटिवेशन पे बुक्स भी लिखी है और ही हैज आल्सो सिंग सॉन्ग्स मैनी टाइम, जो मैंने फेसबुक पे सर को काफी फॉलो किया है। तो ये सर की एक जीएसटी के अलावा भी लाइफ है। उसके अलावा राजेंद्र अरोड़ा जी, सर का चीजों को बताने का तरीका इतना सिंपल है, इतना आसान है कि मतलब ऐसा लगता है कि आप किसी अपने बड़े भाई से या छोटे भाई से कुछ बातें सुन रहे हैं, घर में जो बोलचाल की भाषा होती है आप उसमें चीजों को समझते हैं और उस बोलचाल के अंदर हम जीएसटी लॉ को समझ जाते हैं। तो ये राजेंद्र भाई की एक बहुत बड़ी खूबी है कि वो बातों को इतने अच्छे तरीके से एग्जाम्पल लेके बताते हैं कि चीजें बहुत आसान हो जाती हैं। अब हम बात करते हैं दिव्या जी की। इन सिमिलर मैनर दिव्या जी का एग्जाम्पल लेने का तरीका बहुत अच्छा है कि वो बहुत छोटे से और ग्राउंड एग्जाम्पल लेती हैं, मतलब कि जिससे कि हम जीएसटी को या किसी भी एक्ट को इजीली समझ पाते हैं। और समहाउ दिव्या जी की जो स्माइल है वो कहीं ना कहीं ऑडियंस को बांधे रखती है पूरे सेशन को, चाहे वो 2 घंटे सेशन हो या आधे घंटे का सेशन हो। तो वो एक अपने आप में दिव्या जी का बहुत पॉजिटिव है। नाउ टॉक अबाउट द तरुण जी। तरुण जी की जितनी अच्छी कमांड लॉ के ऊपर है, उससे अच्छी कमांड इनकी लैंग्वेज के ऊपर है। तो जब ये बोलना शुरू करते हैं अपनी लैंग्वेज के अंदर तो कहीं ना कहीं एक जुड़ाव अपना भी महसूस होता है। और सेशन कब हम पढ़ रहे हैं, बिकॉज एक बच्चे को जनरली स्कूल में पढ़ाना है, कॉलेज में पढ़ाना कितना मुश्किल होता है, बट जब भी तरुण जी का सेशन होता है तो कहीं ना कहीं मन और दिल अपना आप ही लगा रहता है कि हम सुनते रहते हैं, उसको सुनते रहते हैं और नॉलेज बढ़ती रहती है। तो फ्रेंड्स, आज मैंने चाहा था कि मैं भी फॉर्मल इंट्रोडक्शन ना देके अपने ऑडियंस, अपने पैनलिस्ट का, अपने गेस्ट का, मैं आज थोड़ा उनका इनफॉर्मल जो मुझको पर्सनली फील हुआ सबको बताऊं बेसिकली। तो फ्रेंड, ये हमारा था। तो फर्स्टली आई रिक्वेस्ट सीए अविनाश पोद्दार सर to give opening remarks. Thereafter, I will invite Rajendra ji. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Sangam ji. First and foremost, at the outset, I'm really thankful for this opportunity. It's my first time that I'm sharing the panel and sharing the dais with Rajendra ji, Tarun ji, and Divya ji. Although I know, I will not say ki, a lot of things I know about them, but yes, Rajendra ji, I have met quite a few times. But unfortunately, I could not meet Divya ji and Tarun ji. Now, so far as today's session is concerned, I would congratulate that this is a very good initiative that you have taken. And certainly there are certain things which are going to, or certainly we can look forward for certain things from this session, because there are certain suggestions which certainly should go to the government, because 3 years have already completed. Now we are on the verge of entering into the fourth year, or rather we have already entered into fourth year. Now, so far as fourth year is concerned, I would expect that at least the GSTN portal should be in sync with the GST law. If at all it is required that the GST law has to be changed or it needs to be revamped, then the government should think over that. But it should sync with GST, and that is the first and foremost requirement as per my views, because that is the only thing that is creating a lot of problem. Otherwise, legal fights, legal issues, that is going to be there, that is bound to happen, because this is something which is, I would say, the best and the most largest reform after independence in the indirect taxes. So certainly the initial glitches, initial hitches, initial problems, interpretation issues, and all those things are going to be there. Like let me give an example of central excise. Central excise were formed in 1944. Now it has been almost 76 years. Now, even after 76 years, there are disputes which are with relation to the term manufacture, which is the very basic term. So similarly, in case of GST also, there can be a dispute pertaining to the term supply, but there should not be the dispute which is pertaining to facts. As of now, the most of the legal battle that we are fighting before the various high courts is pertaining to facts. That should not be there. It should be legal background. Legal battle should be there, but not the factual background. So factual is like you are not able to get your registration on time, the registration is cancelled, you are not able to apply. So that should not happen. The GST should not allow us or should not block us to file the return with the partial payment of liability. That is allowed in the law, so it should be in sync with what the law provides. That is the only humble submission that I would like to have. And now the time is to start listening to the suggestions which the panelists are giving, and we'll take it forward. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for your opening remarks, sir. तो फ्रेंड्स मैं आपको बता दूं कि आज हम सेशन कैसे डिवाइड किया है. राजेंद्र अरोड़ा जी बेसिकली स्पीक ऑन द एक्सपेक्टेशन ऑफ टैक्स पेयर फ्रॉम जीएसटी लॉ, कि जीएसटी लॉ को रिलेटेड एक टैक्स पेयर की क्या एक्सपेक्टेशंस हैं. उनके सारे सजेशन राजेंद्र अरोड़ा जी देंगे. उनके पास ये दिव्या बंसल जी बताएंगी एक्सपेक्टेशन ऑफ प्रोफेशनल्स, कि बीइंग ए चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, बीइंग एन एडवोकेट, हमारी क्या एक्सपेक्टेशन है फ्रॉम जीएसटी लॉ एंड जीएसटी पोर्टल. उसके बाद ये अरोड़ा जी बताएंगे एक्सपेक्टेशन ऑफ टैक्स पेयर फ्रॉम जीएसटी पोर्टल, कि जीएसटी पोर्टल से एक टैक्स पेयर की क्या एक्सपेक्टेशन है, एंड अलोंग विद दैट एक्सपेक्टेशन ऑफ गवर्नमेंट फ्रॉम टैक्स पेयर, कि गवर्नमेंट एज एन गवर्नमेंट की क्या एक टैक्स पेयर से एक्सपेक्टेशन है. तो इन 3 फेज के अंदर अपने सेशन को डिवाइड किया है. तो फ्रेंड आई विल नॉट टेक मच टाइम एंड इनवाइट सी राजेंद्र अरोड़ा जी टू टेक दिस सेशन फॉरवर्ड. ओवर टू यू सर.
गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन. संगम ने अपने नाम जैसा काम किया है. आज हम सबका यहाँ संगम करवा दिया इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे. थैंक यू संगम फॉर दिस थिंग. और different streams are merging together here, and we will certainly come out with a new Gangotri here today from now onwards. And first of all, to begin with, I would like to congratulate all the chartered accountants, listeners, happy CA Day, and the entire economy and all the stakeholders of the country, happy GST Day. The topic is expectations from the law by all the stakeholders of the country, of the law. And today I would be, as like the tone has already rightly been set by Avinash bhai with respect to synchronization of law with the portal. My other 2 learned speakers would be putting light on that. What are the expectations from the portal and then the government, of the taxpayers by the government. First of all, I would like to start with one simple statement that I do expect that whatever is written in the law should be there on the administration portal, and whatever is there on the administration portal should always be written in the law. Unlike the present situations, like what Avinash bhai was referring, that the return can be filed with the return can be filed even if the whole amount of tax is not paid, but the portal is not allowing the same. And sometimes when the law allows you, or the portal allows you something which is not there in the law, so that way the complete synchronization should be there. Because to me, the success of any law is not on the based of how it is being written, but how it is being administered and executed by the administration. The success completely lies on this particular activity, and to a reasonable extent, the administration and the implementation of the law has poorly been carried till now for past 36 months. The law in its original shape is not at all bad, is not at all, we cannot be much critical about the exact situation of the law, the procedures prescribed, and many more things. But yes, the administration and the, I would say, the lag into the decision making time by the GST Council and the CBIC has actually aggravated the position which is at present today. I would start with the expectations of the law, from the law, by the taxpayers, by the society, by all the stakeholders, with referring to one line of the Adam Smith, the noted economist or noted thinker of the world. What he said about the canons of taxation. He propounded a theory about the canons of taxation, the attributes of a good taxing system in any country. And these are 3 basic pillars. One is simplicity, another is progressiveness, and third one is stability. I simply expect the lawmakers to adhere to these 3 canons of taxation. The tax law, specifically the fiscal law, what we are referring to, the goods and services tax, should be simple to understand like Vinash Bhai was also referring, he has actually done the job of a chairman of the session and rightly given the direction to all of us that uh, we have been having a excise law for past more than 70 years in the country, and there used to be issues. There used to be issues with respect to the basic aspects, the livability, the whether the term manufacture, how to constitute the term manufacture. But there have never been much issues about. Of course, there have been issues about sandwich crate allowability and all. But today in GST, what yes, I would always say that these are the teething troubles, and certainly in times to come things are going to be, and we have already, things are going to be better, and we have already passed the painful time of the initial adolescence of the subject. The subject has turned 3 now today, entered into 4th year of its age, so we are quite hopeful. Though I would not say that it is a completely good and simple tax, but certainly it is actually a good and little simple tax. So I would now going ahead with my submissions with respect to changes which we are expecting from the government in the law. Uh, to begin with, input tax credit blocking has been a very, I would say, it's been a very difficult problem in front of the entire economy. My dear friends, presently, uh, in and otherwise also in normal times, three basic sectors of the economy are the largest employers of any country: manufacturing sector, restaurants, eating joints, and then a real estate sector. The daily wagers are largely employed into these three sectors. And all these three sectors are facing the blockage, or they are suffering the tax credit not available, and then resultantly the credit which is not made available becoming cost. Like in whether you talk about the real estate taxes being uh, uh, is being stopped, credit is being stopped, restaurants are being credit being stopped, and similarly manufacturing. In case of manufacturing units, today we say that India is going to become $5 trillion economy. In order to become a $5 trillion economy, we have to rely more on our manufacturing sector. We have to enhance our manufacturing facilities in the country, and to enhance our manufacturing facilities in the country, we require more and more infrastructure in terms of construction of factory buildings, offices, and all. And the credit with respect to factory buildings, construction, immovable property, works contract is not available here. So, which is actually creating a blockage and resultantly a deterrent to infuse more capital into the infrastructure generation. And earlier, the 2 days back, I was listening to Sadhguru also. CBDT chairman was asking a question from Sadhguru, and he referred that no direct tax would actually enhance the prosperity of any countryman. Rather, the inflow of capital, manufacturing activities, economic activities would enhance the prosperity of the countryman. And for that matter, we need to focus more on the economic activities, boosting economic activities, and tax in any country is never a regressive thing, is never a stoppage, hindrance, unlike our country, wherein the basic objective of bringing this statute in place is being compromised by way of blocking of credit and restaurants and otherwise real estate. So my suggestion is that this blocking should be done away, especially in these three sectors. Another suggestion to me, which I actually look forward from the lawmakers, is I would request my chairman Avinash Bhai to please give your expert view also on this aspect. Uh, though I do not see any restriction in the law where I am registered in 25 different states, and at one state the CGST credit is available, and in another state CGST output is payable. So I recommend strongly. I do not see any restriction except some internal directions by the CBIC to its officers, that the credit CGST credit at one state should be adjusted to the CGST output to the another state on the same pan between distinct persons. To me, this would actually create more congenial and I would say ease of doing business environment in the country. I strongly recommend that in the world we should give a sign at this third anniversary of GST, a sign, a clear signal that we are not averted towards businesses. We do not have regressive policies. We do not restrict credits which are actually available in business to business. Another restriction with respect to RCM, to me earlier also when Avinash bhai was listening to another program, when he मैं कहूँगा हिंदी में उनका अवतार हमें देखने को मिला उस प्रोग्राम पर, तो we were very happy to see you there अविनाश भाई. So वहां पर भी मैंने ये बात बोली थी कि that RCM creates cascading. When an outward supplier supplies taxable supplies of services and those supplies are under RCM, then the credit available to that supplier is restricted under section 17 subsection 3, wherein that supply becomes exempt supply with respect to input tax credit. Rule 42 and 43 becomes applicable. In that case, the tax which is available to the supplier becomes in cost to it, and cascading is given rise. Rather, I suggest to the government that section 9 bracket 4 under RCM, section 9 of levy bracket 4, wherein the unregistered person suppliers are supplying to registered recipient, should be again come into life. It should be done away with from the coma and given ventilator and given to life, wherein RCM can be a very important tool for enhancing the revenue collection by the government, and $5 trillion economy is not a very far distant dream to me, wherein when the registered recipient is paying taxes under RCM from the unregistered suppliers, then the registered recipient should be asked to supply the permanent account number of the unregistered supplier, and the data should be collected on all India basis, and then the system should be designed in such a manner that on a particular PAN, if the turnover exceeds 40 lakhs or 20 lakh in case of services, then the automatic notice should be given to the supplier so that he should be asked to get itself registered. So this will enhance the distribution chain, the tax net which is there in the country, and $5 trillion economy is not a distant dream. Another aspect which I would like to mention here about the RCM is that the people who are into supplying zero-rated supplies outside India under Section 16 of IGST Act are required to pay taxes under RCM and then seek refund of the same. To me, seeking refund should only be allowed or should only be resorted to when there is no other way around available. Otherwise, policy making decision available is not with us. Otherwise, all these things should be avoided with refund facility and then paying taxes and then seeking refund, because RCM in earlier laws also we have seen various tribunal judgments and high court judgments wherein RCM has been considered to be revenue neutral and no penalties and even interest has been waived when the RCM compliances are not been made in earlier regime also, erstwhile service tax regime, excise regime also. So my humble submission to the lawmakers is to actually look into this aspect as well. Another issue which I feel which is very again a regressive policy. I feel that the government should refrain from making retrospective amendments. We have seen in past around 60 retrospective amendments happened in the law. These retrospective amendments should only be made only with respect to wherein it is a clarificatory amendment or it is a beneficial amendment to the taxpayers. Otherwise, retrospective amendment, though they are having the powers to bring in those retrospective amendments, but I feel that gives a wrong signal to the taxpayers, society, and the world at large also, that whenever something goes against us, we go back to the parliament. Now, even going back, parliament is not required. GST Council can do the purpose, and we actually restrict the actual rights available or rights available to the taxpayers, and we restrict those rights by way of this thing, retrospective amendment. So I suggest the government with my folded hands that please do restrain from using retrospective amendment tool mode for curbing the or for enhancing the tax revenue or for curbing the input tax credit allowability. Next, Avinash Bhai also would be in agreement with me with respect to this aspect that advanced ruling authorities are not more giving solutions but creating confusions. I have seen with, of course, all of us have seen around 800 advanced ruling authorities have already been passed in the country, and we have seen more confusion is being arose, lesser solutions are being provided. So I recommend and suggest to the government that National Advanced Ruling Authority should be constituted as early as possible. Alongside, the tribunals should also be constituted so that for every second thing, a writ should not be preferred under Article 226. And tribunal in erstwhile service tax regime, CSTAT has been a wonderful first appellate authority, and we have seen a beautiful, wise, and far-reaching orders have been written by those I would say very, very intelligent judges sitting on the benches in the tribunal. So, of course, because of the Madras High Court judgment, the government is being restrained. But yes, the proper methodology has to be designed and constituted, and then tribunal should see the light of the day in order to avoid hours and hours of millions of hours of the High Court are being wasted into these procedural tax matters. Like Avinash Bhai was also referred that registration is not granted, registration cancelled, but we cannot obtain the registration, same registration again. So huge number of hours of wisdom of our judiciary is being wasted on this. So I recommend strongly that as early as possible the tribunal should be framed. There is one more aspect with respect to cross charge which I would like to suggest. We have seen that in cross charge amongst distinct persons, there is no provision available under Section 54 for refund in case of SEZ. I would request our chairman, Learned Avinash Bhai, to please put light on this aspect also. I may be making some mistake in interpreting or construing or going ahead in time and understanding this provision, but to my mind, SEZ, when there is a cross charge input tax credit in SEZ, there is no mechanism available for under Section 54 for refund. Department is rejecting those refunds very easily. Next, there is one. I was listening to your one of video also, my learned chairman, that about the 180 days and Section 16 subsection 2 second proviso. I am 100% in agreement with the viewpoints put forth by Avinash Bhai, that there is no point wherein the government can actually look into the mechanism by which the government or the business has to conduct its business. So there, to me, there is an article 31 of the Constitution also, wherein the state is under obligation to provide the reasonable facility to every citizen to earn his livelihood. And this is a clear restriction imposed on me to earn my livelihood. Nobody can tell me how to do business. So this 180 days wala condition should be done away, or at least should be relaxed. Earlier, if I'm not mistaken, in one of the GST Council meeting, there was a proposal made also that when this reversal has to be made and the input tax credit taken should be added into the output tax liability, so interest should be waived. But there is no judgment, there is no press release was issued, but there was no relevant notification which was released by the CBIC. At this juncture only, I would request this GST Council to please look into the sanctity of the GST Council. This is a constitutional body, and whatever you recommend, the government is under obligation to actually abide by that. There are multiple occasions we have seen that one of the occasion is this, and another occasion is about the first proviso, which is added under Section 50 subsection 1, wherein the interest is to be levied only on the net portion, which has been there with effect from 1st August 2019 in the law, but has not seen the light of the day as yet. I do not know the reasons best known to the GST Council or the lawmakers, but I request earnestly to the lawmakers, GST Council, that please uphold or ensure the sanctity of the GST Council, wherein if anything is recommended by the council has to be made law, has to be converted into law. So otherwise the relevance of the council would diminish, or the sheen of the council would be lost in times to come. So 180 days is not a just condition to me, and especially at least if you are not able to remove it, then at least give some relief during this pandemic. Businesses are totally closed. There is no movement of fund is there. 4 month business is not there. Another 2 months or 3 months would be taken to actually bring in the original cycle where it was running pre-COVID time. So I would suggest, strongly recommend to the government that please relax this 180-day condition also. And at this pandemic, when I am talking about the pandemic, I have one or two more suggestions with respect to ITC. To me, though the input tax credit of ITC on mask and sanitizers and COVID protection items is available under section 16 subsection 2, but I request, and another aspect is about the CSR funding or the distribution of goods under CSR under section 135 of the Companies Act 2013. Even the MCA has come out with the circular clarifying that the goods distributed by the companies would purely fall into the CSR expenditure. So I earnestly request the CBIC also, GST Council, to take cognizance of the fact that प्लीज कम आउट विद सर्कुलर. यू आप हर रिटर्न के नोटिफिकेशन के बाद उसके सर्कुलर को लेकर आ जाते हैं. पहली बात तो रिटर्न्स के प्रोसेस को इतना कॉम्प्लिकेट क्यों किया हुआ है कि उसके लिए सर्कुलर देने की जरूरत पड़े. चलिए सर्कुलर दे भी दिया है तो स्टिल आप एक इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट की अलाउएबिलिटी के लिए भी एक सर्कुलर, प्लीज आई रिक्वेस्ट, bring out with the circular clarifying that all these input tax credits shall be available. Likewise, you clarified that 90 days of export proceeds shall not be counted. You clarified that LUT is not, even if it's not taken, then you can take it to now 31st August by way of notification 55 by 2020 on released on 27 June. So why can't you come out with this clarificatory circular also? To me, this is very important. And last but not the least, due dates have been, I would not go into much detail because my other two learned speakers have to talk about the portal issues. But only thing I would say that due dates have been so much been in prevalence that nowadays there is a what you call that, एक जोक बनना शुरू हो गया है कि अब ड्यू डेट्स को सीखने के लिए भी एक जीएसटी का कोर्स लॉन्च हो रहा है, so that it is important for them to actually understand what all due dates are there and what is the implication of interest, what is the implication of section 47 of levy. So another course is now in the making, that how to understand the due dates prescribed under this COVID-19 period. Rule 36 sub rule 4 read with section 16(4), September 2020 would be the due date of September. Return of GSTR 3B would be the last date for claiming input tax credit pertaining to March 20. But if I comply with the rule 36 sub rule 4, I would request my chairman again that I have raised this question again, and please give your considered and a wise intelligent view on this. You are been into judiciary for long now. You have been pioneer into Gujarat High Court and been मैं कहूंगा कि आप सुहागे की तरह आपने काम किया है, and you have been the catalyst in bringing many, even you are the man behind bringing the retrospective amendment. You are responsible for bringing that one retrospective amendment, that GSTR 3B is a return. So because of the AAP case before Honorable Gujarat High Court. So I would request, now my question, last submission is that Rule 36(4) asks me to claim input tax credit only when it appears in GSTR 2A. But section 16 subsection 4 guides me, limits me to take credit by the due date of September 20 return only. What if in September 20 GSTR 2A the credit is not appearing pertaining to March 20? Should I take violating Rule 36(4), complying 16(4), or should I comply 36 sub rule 4 and violate section 16 subsection 4? Very soon this point is going to come in front of all of us. So here of course I have tried my level best to whatever Sangam has told me, that 15-20 minute discussion. So I hope I am not crossing my time allotted. So this is all about law changes which I could have foreseen. The only thing, one more last suggestion, that for every difference of opinion, for every interpretational issue, the history has been in our country that we run to the courts. Why can't we have a system in the administration itself wherein people like Avinash Bhai, Tarun Bhai, Divya Didi, sorry to say that, people like these guys and many other experts in the country are being called by the officers, by the system, and being asked as an independent observer to the situation and being asked with their view. And why can't the administration accept the views of these experts of the country who are seeing the law day in and day out, living with the law every other second? Why do we have to run to the judiciary for every other interpretation and burden them with these tax matters instead of determining or deciding some landmark issues for the rights and the properties of the countrymen? So this is my last submission. I rest my case here. Now over to Sangam. Thank you very much, all the panelists and the listeners. Thank you.
थैंक यू राजेंद्र जी, थैंक यू वेरी मच. आई थिंक सर आप एक सेशन देना भूल के, जो आपने मुझसे डिस्कस किया था, इन केस ऑफ रिवर्स चार्ज, तो जो उसका इनपुट होता है वो उसकी कॉस्ट बन जाती है टैक्स पेयर की बेसिकली. तो अगर वो उसको रिफंड की तरह अलाउ करेंगे तो कहीं ना कहीं जो ब्लॉकेज ऑफ क्रेडिट है वो भी खत्म होगा. ये आपका मेरा एक बार डिस्कस हुआ था.
मैं तो ये कहना चाहता हूं कि उस पर रिवर्स चार्ज में अगर है तो वो इनपुट उसको अलाउ कर दिया जाए. रिफंड, यस, रिफंड भी हो सकता है.
सर उसका ऐसे इन केस ऑफ एडवोकेट कोई और ऑप्शन है नहीं उनके पास, उनको सब कुछ उनका रिवर्स चार्ज के अंदर है, तो उनको जो भी इनपुट बनता है उनको रिफंड ही मिलेगा अल्टीमेटली, एज पर माय अंडरस्टैंडिंग. So now I request Avinash ji to put some light over the suggestion given by Rajendra ji.
I think let the other speakers continue, and then at last we can have the discussions on the solutions.
That's fine, sir. So I will request Divya Bansal ji to take this session forward. As we discussed, today we will speak on the expectation of the professionals on the